didn't want to be crazy. I'd worked so hard to get back to normal. So as my second bout of mania began, I was just in denial about it because I couldn't face it. So because I didn't face it, it got out of control. Same thing, horrible end of the world psychosis, long 2-year depression. And during that depression, that second time, it was like I knew I was crazy now. It was really hard not to kill myself. My first life was gone. My second attempt to rebuild it didn't work. And I had to deal with the fact that I was crazy. And that was like, I don't even know how to explain how difficult that was for me to accept. It was like, no, I did not want to be a fucking crazy person. And I really, really badly wanted to kill myself. The one big turning point for me was my sister burned me a CD, and it was a live performance of the band Choking Victim. It was them on a radio station. So the album's called Christmas with the Victim. And it's that around Christmas, Choking Victim were on some New York radio station. And they were playing a few live songs. You know, they were playing songs and then taking audience questions. And at one point, Sasha, the bass player for Choking Victim, and I think the radio host brought up that he was bipolar and that he was involved in mental health groups and that he'd written articles on being bipolar. Like, I loved the bands Choking Victim and Leftover Crack. But at that point, I didn't know any of those personal details about DeBrole. But hearing him, like, he's on the radio, and he was just so casual about the fact that he was bipolar. And all his bandmates were treating him with respect. The guy interviewing him was, like, interested in his experience. Nobody was putting Sasha down. It was just, everyone was like, yeah, he's bipolar, the same way that, hey, he's tall and he's, I don't know, Chinese. It was just a fact about him that didn't matter. And that hit me so fucking hard because I could look up to that band to a certain degree. Like, not that I idolized them in any way, but they were someone I could look up to if I was wanting to be in that frame of mind. And the fact that he was just casually discussing his bipolar, and a bunch of the stuff he's written is available free to download. At the point that my sister gave me the CD, I didn't have internet, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have a car, I never left my house. It was just and I didn't have people visit me either, like, often at all. My parents would just drop off my supplies every so often. But I told my mom about the CD, and I said, you know, he said, here is where you can go to print off his stuff. So I asked her to print out some of his material. She brought it to me. And when I read the first article he wrote, I'm not sure what it was called now, something like Bipolar World, but Sasha had a total psychotic break as well. I think the police picked him up wandering in the subway tunnels in New York. He was institutionalized and whatnot. But after that, he wrote an article about the experience, and reading the stuff he wrote and some other things, like, led me to reading other things. That was the beginning of me being able to accept it myself. Was, if Sasha's crazy and he's someone that I don't look down on, maybe there's a way for me to be okay with being crazy myself. And so because that had such a large effect on me, I do think that could be one service I might be able to offer, is an example of someone who's just going to plainly talk about being crazy without being embarrassed. And hopefully, if anyone else needs to see that example, and that I'm the right person to be that example, hopefully they find this stuff, because just accepting what it is allows you to deal with it. Trying to be in denial about it or run away from it, you're never going to learn how to deal with it properly. You're never going to learn how to deal with it properly. If Sasha's crazy and he's someone that I don't look down on, maybe there's a way for me to be okay with being crazy myself. Just accepting what it is allows you to deal with it. Trying to be in denial about it or run away from it, you're never going to learn how to deal with it properly.